Hello, my name is Suzanne Deveau. I'm from Western Canada, and I am the co-host of the Suzanne and Sharon Let's Talk Business show. So I'm going to introduce you to my co-host, Sharon Parkinson. Sharon, take it away, please.
Hi, and I'm Sharon Parkinson from the UK, and our Let's Talk Business show is basically a way for us to showcase all of the people who are in OnPassive, who have a business that they want to grow using the products and services. So please stay tuned. We've got a really exciting guest on next, and that you'll get a feel for what this can do for you too. Hi, so today's guest is Kent Watson. He's a professor and he's coming to us all the way from Kamloops in British Columbia in Canada. So Ken, we've been waiting to see you today so we can hear all about your past, because obviously being a professor, you've obviously had a very experienced work career. So please tell us more about what you've done in the past.
Well, I was a university professor in Kamloops, BC, Canada for 35 years. I retired in 2016, and my main courses were soil science and geographic information systems, which is computer mapping. I'm an expert in soil descriptions, which is different than soil classification. Soil descriptions involve describing what you see in a soil profile in a hole in the ground.
Ah, well, let me take it from here, Sharon.
Why not be better?
Yeah, the reason I know Kent is because for about 7 years, I designed and installed septic systems. And part of the training of the course was they added Kent in to do the 2-day training on soils. And you know, when you're designing any kind of system that's going to put waste material into the ground, you need to know, how is that going to react to the soil? Is the soil going to allow it to penetrate through, or is it just going to end up on the top of your grass and be a problem, right? So just trying to give you a little insight into that. So I took the course from Kent and learned so much, and he just an incredible, well-respected man in that field. And so Kent, it started in British Columbia and Alberta, and where it expanded right across Canada, it looked like.
Yeah, I've done soil field workshops in Ontario, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, and British Columbia with the
Wow,
Alberta On-Site Sewage Association.
that's amazing. And
And
so,
I also
oh, sorry, go ahead.
and I also have a soils textbook that I wrote years ago, which is still being used on how to do this classification work. And the students that take the training for septic system design use my book.
Oh, and I have a copy and I read it every night.
Oh, yeah, sure. It's collecting dust on a shelf.
No, but you know what? No one made it clear until I read your book and took your course, because it's so beautiful, especially that one particular page that says, okay, if you do this with the soil, yes or no, go here, go here, go here. So you're able to really, by some testing and formulating the soil with some bit of water, and it's just amazing how when you're new to something, it's just so anyone that looks at soil, it all looks the same. But Kent made it easy and simple and really broke it down. So I really appreciate it. Made me go, oh, thank goodness, I can get this and get the marks, and when I'm in the field, know what to do, right? So then, so moving on from soils, and so you have a full course that you can look to market to the world, and that's amazing. Now, being a professor, you were mentioning the other day that some of the students were stressed out. What did you do for them, and how did that career kind of take off?
Well, I've always been aware of student stress. I mean, I went through university, got 2 degrees, and stress was prominent in that. And with the course load with the students that I was teaching, I mean, with lab courses, they're basically doing 8 or 9 courses in a semester because the labs are basically another course. And so I would do everything possible that I could think of to reduce the stress load. So I'd find out when their other exams were. So in midterms, I would just say, when are your exams? And then they would tell me they're all in 1 week. I said, okay, we're going to do ours the following week, which would give them a break. I then went from midterm exams to and final exams to doing a quiz once a week. And those quizzes became the midterm and became the final. And their marks went up. I tracked their grades. And then in 2015, I learned about HeartMath. And I took the training in California. And in my last year of teaching, I would teach the students 2 minutes at the beginning of each class and each lab. So they had this 4 times a week, 2 minutes of what we call heart focused breathing. Their stress level went down, their marks went up, and I still bump into students to this day who are still doing the heart focused breathing. And one student told me, he said, you know, my grade point average was very, very low. And after I took your soils course, my grade point average went up and I'm now in a master's program. So
Wow.
that's the
Oh,
power of HeartMath. It's all science-based. It looks at the heart-brain connection, and it looks at how we can calm our heart, our nervous system, and take ourselves out of the stress state. And we can do it anytime, anywhere. And in a couple of minutes, you can calm yourself down. It's a very, very powerful program.
and I looked online. It looked like there was 40,000 studies.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
it's quite backed up by a lot of scientific evidence.
yes, it is. And I read articles. I've printed articles. I'm learning more every day because new stuff comes out every day. In fact, just
Now,
last week I heard that they've been. Well, I've known this for a while, but they're actually measuring the frequencies of trees, the redwoods in the redwood forest, and they've been able to convert the sound, the frequency of the trees into sound. And then when people would stand around the trees and do the breathing, the sound would change. It was almost sort of melodic. I haven't heard it, but the energy of everything everywhere is affected by us people in our state of either incoherence or coherence. So we have the ability as a mass of people practicing heart focused breathing to actually change the electromagnetic field around the planet.
Wow.
wow.
Now,
And then oh, sorry, I was just going to say, did that lead you into becoming a shaman? And tell us about that work.
That all happened. The shaman work started in 2012. I was feeling kind of lost, my wife and I, and there had to be something more. And just sort of one thing led to another. And we wound up going on a trip to the Canyon de Chelly. And from that, it was just, this is the direction we need to go for now. So we've taken courses uh, in Canada, in Kamloops, and we've been to Peru 3 or 4 times to learn from the masters down there. So
Wow.
that's I refer to as earth medicine healing.
Yes.
and Ken, with regards to obviously the heart math, what is the difference between, because I've done transcendental meditation, so is there any similarities or what are the major differences, or do you know what transcendental meditation is to compare it with?
Well, from what I've learned from HeartMath and what they've stated, is that meditation is great. There's nothing wrong with that, but you can still be in a stressed out state and your heart rhythm isn't calmed down. So the idea here is to bring the heart into what we call a sine wave rhythm doing this. And that's what the breathing does. When we're under stress, our heart rhythm is just a jagged graph like something on a bad stock market day. So it's calming the heart. If we can't calm the heart and get its frequency in line, then our sympathetic flight or fight or flight response nervous system is running the show. And that's what stress is doing to us. When we calm the heart with the breathing, we slow down that and we engage the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the calming nerve. And when we do that, they've just shown recently that when we calm the heart, the signals going to the brain calm the brain and they become aligned. When we calm our our heart has the same frequency as the planet. So when we become the same frequency as the planet, we are changing the planet's field. So this is really powerful. And we have this amazing ability to do this. So back to the meditation thing, sometimes it will work if you're actually calming this, but if you're meditating but still the thoughts are going on, because they're always going on, you'll never stop them.
Yeah.
And the heart doesn't calm, then you're not changing that physiology. So when you're in heart coherence, your hormones change, your nervous system changes, and healing starts. So when we're in a calm state, our immune system heals and engages. When we're stressed out, our immune system is fighting the stress, and it's using all its energy to go there. And then what happens if the stress becomes too much? You get a cold, or you get a flu, or you get sick.
Yep.
Now, stress is not a disease, but it leads to disease. And that's what the science is showing. Almost all diseases are related to stress.
Mm-hmm.
So if we can balance our stress by breathing for a couple of minutes when it hits us, or even before going into a situation where there's going to be stress. You may be going into a meeting.
Yeah.
So that's its power.
That's
its
where the
power.
terminology comes to when people say breathe. That's what they think is saying, but you don't realize why you're just taking a deep breath. There's no science, because we don't understand what you teach, really. So that's going to be a fascinating subject for all of the OnPassive members to learn, isn't it?
Yeah. So when you breathe, you actually focus on the heart. So energy goes where thought goes, right? So when you're focusing on the heart, that brings the coherence quicker. Everything in the universe is energy. And when we begin to understand that our thoughts, our emotions, our beliefs, those are all energy frequencies.
Mm-hmm.
So when we are under stress and we're angry, that's a low frequency. When we're happy and joyful, that's a high frequency. So beginning to understand that everything is operating as a frequency. Our heart has a frequency. Every organ in our body has a different frequency, and that can be measured.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Look at us. It's amazing. So now you're retired as a professor, and you're still doing the courses are basically you're subcontracting to, when the soils people need you. And HeartMath is obviously strong in your your passion. So I give you a call. I talked to you about OnPassive, and you said, "Oh, interesting. That would be great. How, I could market myself." And now you've got a little flair of OnPassive. How do you think it's going to help you with some of the tools? Have you thought about which ones you might be using? And
Well, the course, for one, I've just been introduced to this, as you know, like a few weeks ago.
yeah.
And so I'm just trying to learn about this, but there's, I think, a lot of tools I could probably use. I couldn't name them offhand right now, but the course one for sure.
Yeah.
I'm also taking
O-Cademy.
it. Yeah. O-Cademy. Yeah. So I'm also taking training on how to get my HeartMath online and learning how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And this platform, I believe, may give me even a bigger audience, because I have a friend who's doing every Sunday, he does what's called a coherence hotspot. And people are
Okay.
from all over the world connecting in. And I don't have that base yet of enough people. So I think this is going to be a very powerful tool. And if we look back to soils, I mean, what I teach in soils is done in every country. It's not classification. It's done in every country of the world.
Well,
Could be
Sharon, do you want to elaborate on the, sorry, do you want to elaborate on how, what the translation in languages for O-Cademy and
Oh yeah, I mean, like obviously you say your course, so your course could be run in the desert. I take it there's obviously the soil in the desert, where in the desert areas it would be applicable to in the UK or Canada. Doesn't matter where you are, I take it.
No, because most countries have a different classification system.
Yeah.
But to actually describe the soil, to fit it into a class, you need to go into the field and dig a soil profile, identify the layers called horizons, determine the texture, that's what it kind of feels like, the structure, all of these different characteristics, they're common to every classification system.
So
this
that means,
is,
oh, sorry.
Go ahead, sorry.
No, you carry on, sorry.
So this is, it has the ability, what I'm envisioning is I could be doing online soils courses, who could even set it up with samples and all of that kind of stuff and be delivering them to, Australia or England or Germany or wherever, to soils people who are describing soils. Also, for people who are designing sewage systems.
Yeah.
The soil component is the most important piece.
It is.
And like Suzanne said, she was terrified. Every time I go into a class, the students don't have a clue. And they're terrified to get in and do the soils, because if you get it wrong, you have a failed septic system.
Yes, that's right. What you could have, so you could have effectively, because O-Cademy has the online, so it has live environments. So like a lecturer would be in a university or in a school, you could be doing a live session. So that could be, where you were talking about doing the HeartMath, where you wanted to have an online community, do it together. That could be one thing. And then on your soil, you could have tests, you could have classes and then tests to test that they know what the soil composition is all about. Mm-hmm. And then you could even certify them. If you can certify people, they could have a certification certificate from your like academy, whatever you're going to call it. So that is just one product. I mean, it's vast in what it can do. So yeah, and then you'll have your website, and you'll have a website a day created for you. So you'll definitely well known on OnPassive's platform for sure.
Yeah. Okay. One thing I want to add to that too is that when you're in O-Cademy and you're teaching a course, you'll be 108 languages will be able to just watch and listen and hear from you and have it delivered in their own language. So that is powerful. You'll be able to, around the world, basically help people learn what you know, all the knowledge that you know, teach your course and be paid for it. And once you create that course, you could be lying on a beach in Mexico and people are learning your course and you're getting paid. And you could do kind of like a teaser one that's, why do you want to take this course? Well, are you an engineer? Are you planning septic? Are you an environmentalist? You need to know about soils and runoff from rain. And there's just so many applicable professions that need to know soils. And being in the industry for 7 years, I have seen disasters where people don't know the soils, colleagues that live in my neighborhood that design a system, they don't care about the soil, and it's basically built on what we call clay. I don't know if it's the same word in the UK, but it's clay. So there is no penetration. So what happens? The people build their house, they build a brand new house, and they have a toilet, and people do their thing, and it's released on top of the clay. And guess what? It stays on top of the clay. And then the kids are out in the yard, they're playing in the grass, and they come in the house, and mom says, "Why are you wet?" So that's the downside, to really explain to people how detrimental it can be if you don't do your soil science. And another thing, I just want to make a plug for Ken. This was the courses we were taking. They were saying, well, when this soil's, the water goes through it, no problem. Like it penetrates. And then Kent pointed out to me, we did a little video, and he said, look at this, when it dries, it's hard as a rock. And so, that science is so important, because you need to know how soils affect things. And the HeartMath, that's a whole nother realm of how we can help people. Stress is a killer.
It is, yeah. And that's why I think people, I learned transcendental meditation because I was under a lot of stress. Didn't know anything. I've never heard of HeartMath before. So that is a whole new ball game when it comes to learning how to, literally put your body in tune. Like you say, we don't realize that we are one frequency. So we're going to, I'm looking forward to taking your course. That's for sure.
Yeah. And then Kent, I was just going to say a couple other products that might be good for you on OnPassive is, it's called O-Lead. It's basically a CRM So all the people that you've met, all your clientele, basically you'll put them into this lead, and you'll be able to, certain people that are teachers and professors, you can let them know what you're doing. And again, they may want to do the same thing or be able to refer people to your courses. And all the people that are related to the wellness side, you can have them in your lead, and you can send out emails with, it's just endless, all the different products. But what's nice is that you'll be able to create a website, and the best part is that OnPassive every day is going to be sending traffic to your HeartMath. And I saw that you got 2 positions, one for your wife, so we can send traffic to one business, and the other founder position will send traffic to that one. So you've got yourself covered. We're going to get both businesses going, right?
So this will be a new website
Two
opposed to what?
websites, because you have one for each position.
Yeah.
And you can choose the theme. So it can be healthcare, it can be soil. You would pick the industry that you're wanting that site to be in. And then every day the company will create a website based around that. So there'll be a different article written, and it'll all be pointing back to whatever you want them to come back to. So be O-Cademy course, or a product that you maybe a free giveaway to get them on your mailing list. There's a multitude of ways to utilize that traffic. So on that note, if somebody was watching this video and wanted to know more about your soil courses and also your HeartMath, how would they contact you? Do you have a website they can go to, or would it be an email they would contact you on at the moment?
I have a website.
Okay.
And it is Edward Kent Watson @gmail.com. edwardkentwatson.com.
Okay.
And HeartMath is on there, and you can order my soils textbook from there as well.
So you've got a ready-made audience of 1 million people potential to look at your course, because if you've got a course ready to go on there, you'll be one of the first people to be on there, because most people will have to create one. So you're already ready to go. You can get your information out there to people. And most people, if not everybody, should need HeartMath, because who doesn't want to reduce stress and just kind of make themselves healthy? Soil, I'm not quite sure. Maybe there's a lot of people like soil, but it's it's a kind of an acquired taste.
That's a more specialized arena. So there's not as big an audience for that, but
yeah, you
to get it worldwide.
Oh yeah,
but you think a third of Canada lives rurally, and when you live in rural, you have a septic system. And you can't build a house and a septic system unless you know the soils, and you can't even get the permit to, like, for example, when I was designing the septic system, you have to do the soils work in order to prove that soil is okay to put a septic system on. So if you're not in that field, it may seem like, it's not that relevant, but believe me, there are millions and millions of people around the world that need to know the soils in order to get the permit, in order to build the system, in order to build the house. So it's a very much demand course and information. So both avenues, and basically having the courses ready, being able to pop them onto OnPassive, and then OnPassive, you'll pick the demographics that you want. So it might be builders, engineers, people in soils, people that are taking the courses at universities, and people in stress, health. So OnPassive will give us the criteria that we pick, and then they're going to send that type of traffic to each of those industries, and that's what's going to happen. And you are going to sit back, drinking your nice chamomile tea, and going, "Oh my gosh, what? I made income today on a course I created once? Are you kidding me?" And there's people in India and Pakistan and Egypt and all over the world that are taking it. So I can't wait to see your results. We'll have to interview again later on and see what happened.
Yeah, right? I think the reason why Ash made this course is because, I don't know if your situation's the same, but a lot of teachers, especially in the UK, they're overworked, underpaid. They don't have, even though they're supposed to have like quite a long period off in the summertime, most of it's spent creating courses for the following year and marking exam results. So really, they don't have a lot of time off. So those people, they don't feel valued. The children are not very respectful. Trying to keep their attention is difficult. So having an online ability to tailor make a course for your child, that is maybe, you know, some children have issues with academic stuff, but they're very good on the, you know, the social side of things, you know, doing things with the hands, and maybe, I don't know, you know, the crafts, you know, you can tailor make it into those for those people. That's what he wants to do. So he wants to also bring professors, really good quality teachers, and, you know, retired teachers. No, there's no reason why they can't be there to help, because, you know, we need the quality of people. But the actual income that you're going to generate will be far superior to what you would have been paid in your normal career. So
think about it. We all trade time for money.
exactly.
And you're going to create the course once and be paid forever. And the last thing I want to do before, like, if we're wrapping up soon, is the beautiful thing is that as a founder of OnPassive, we're at March 2021. If you are fortunate enough to be a founder or thinking of joining, we are all going to be given links to give to anyone in the world to come and try. So when we go out to the world, possibly we'll be launching to the world maybe in June or July of this year. So let's just say all of us founders will be given a link to give to anyone in the world. Come try OnPassive products. So they'll be given a 7-day free trial. And let's say they come in, they take a look, and they don't do much, but they come back 6 months later. Well, they will be linked to you, and you will receive the commission on that person coming in. They might buy a la carte. They may want one product, 2 products, and then at some point they may want the full suite, but it doesn't matter. Either way, that is a way for us to generate more income. And when we have a vision within OnPassive, we not only ourselves want to do well, but we want to help others. So it's going to give us that opportunity to set ourselves up, people we love, our family, neighbors, people in our community. So it's quite a vision. So we're so glad you're here today, Kent. It's really good.
Thank you.
I'm going to learn a lot from over the next few weeks. I know you're pretty new, so it's kind of a bit of a lot to learn in a short period of time. But stick with us on our calls. We'll teach you the ways that we're going to use the products ourselves, and then we can come back and we'll have consultations with you to say, right, let's look at what's available and how it can work for you. And that's how we're going to do it for all of our team, isn't it?
Yep, we're going to help you all along the way. And Ash has made things that someone 80 years old with no experience, press a few buttons, boom, you're good. Your website's up, and they do the work for you. I just want to say on the last note, if you don't have a business, you're not a professor, you don't have a course, does not matter at all. You can join OnPassive, be a founder, and just sit back and watch the company grow, and you'll receive profits. He wants to share with over 1 million people around the world. So it's pretty neat. And I'm glad the 3 of us are part of that 1 million families.
Exactly. And if you're somebody who's always wanted to do a course but hasn't got a clue where to start, now's your part. You've got all the tools under one umbrella to come and make that course and sell it through the platform, and then, like you say, reap the rewards for years to come. So that's going to be you, Kent, isn't it? In a few months, I hope.
Yeah, that's the dream, the hope. I just want to say something here. Coming back to the HeartMath thing, I stand for stress-free living globally, collectively, and individually. And I used to be Santa Claus at Aberdeen Mall here in Kamloops for about 10 years. And every child that came to me, I would ask them what they wanted. Every once in a while, a child would say, Kent, what do you want for Christmas? My answer was always the same: world peace. Yes. And I know with HeartMath and getting more and more people engaged with it and using it, that can happen. That's its power.
Wow. You are going to have a mini course with just Sharon and I.
Yeah. And then we can do a few more, and then a few more.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to wait. We don't want to wait until OnPassive gives us the tools. We can start that process now, can't we? So yes, because at the end of the day, your health is your wealth. There's no point in being wealthy if you're not very well. So we're going to try and bring the whole, like, what's the circle? The circle. We bring everything back into the circle.
Frequencies.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Oh, Kent, it's been a fantastic. I've really enjoyed today's session. It's been amazing. I'm sure people out there will enjoy it as well. So if you got any final questions for me and Suzanne, or are you happy?
No, just I think just the training, learning how this is all working and fitting together.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is exciting. And I just wish everybody to have a great day who's ever watching this. And I'll share a secret with you.
Oh.
Focus your attention on your heart and breathe in slowly and deeply. Focus that breath into the heart. You're breathing in for 5 seconds and out for 5 seconds. Do that for 2 minutes and see how you feel.
I'll do that later.
I'm going to do it
Okay.
right after we stop this recording so I can
Yeah.
poke it.
Oh, thank you so much, Kent.
Thank you so much, Kent. That is great.
You're most welcome. I've had fun.
Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, wasn't that amazing? We had a really good interview there. I'm learning so much about people in this business. It's unbelievable. Every week it's something different, and we've just got people queuing up to be on this show because they're getting results. You know, we're having people who've been on our show, we've promoted their business, and then they're getting leads and also sales. So it does work if you do put the effort in. Suzanne, what do you think?
Absolutely, Sharon. It's amazing learning about all these industries. So if you liked this video or any of our interviews, please give us a like, ring the bell, and subscribe so you can get a hold of all the interviews we're going to be doing. And if you're looking at this video from someone that referred you, please sign up with them. If you want to join OnPassive, it would be the best decision of your life. And if you've just come across us, no one has referred you, then you can join us at suzanne&sharon.com. But we're all about integrity. So please join with the person that shared this with you. Have an incredible day, and we'll see you on the next interview.